Hello everyone, this is Arlene with Design with Arlene. Welcome back to my channel. I have a YouTube channel where I make video tutorials on card making projects and share my love of paper crafting with you. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you so much for the new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. And let's get started with the card and information. Today's project is going to be made using this Quiet Meadow stamp set. This is a new stamp set that's coming out in the new annual catalog that Stampin' Up has starting May 4th. So let me show you the dies that I used with it. And also too, if you're interested in getting a catalog and you don't already have a demonstrator, just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to get one to you. I'm using the Meadow dies, and the Meadow dies will come it can be purchased as a bundle in the new catalog. These are a set of 13. Make some beautiful dies. And I also grabbed one of the other die sets. This is called the Scalloped Contours dies. So let me go ahead and show you which cardstock that I used and designer series paper. So I'm using some of the new paper that is going to be coming out in the new catalog in May. That's May 2021. And this is a piece of cardstock that is originally 8.5 by 11, and then I cut down the middle and scored it in half. And this is called the Soft Succulent cardstock. And then I have some of this gorgeous paper. This is the hand-penned designer series paper, and they are double-sided. I use this gorgeous side here first to do all the lovely colors to showcase the new in colors that are out this year. And I used one of the dies from the Contours die set, the Scalloped Contours dies, as well as I use the same die set for this one as well too. This is cut out of Very Vanilla. It's a smaller that we'll be layering onto this after we do some fun stamping on there. And then I took some scraps of some of the new in colors, and I went ahead and I die cut these out using the Meadow dies. And the Meadow dies is what coordinates with the stamp set that I'm using today. So I've got some, just wanted to show you these that I've already pre-cut out. This is the Soft Succulent. This is the Polished Pink, that's the color. And this is the Fresh Freesia and the Pale Papaya. These are the 5 new in colors. And then this color of cardstock is cut from the Evening Meadow, I believe. Nope, Evening Evergreen. So that's the Evening Evergreen. So I cut those out, and now we'll go ahead and get it to some embellishing using some inks and bling and ink pads. Okay, so I'm taking the cardstock base. This is the Soft Succulent, and go ahead on that score line that I've made. I'm going to give it a nice good crease, and on the front of that, I'm going to take my Soft Succulent ink pad, and then I've got one of the stamps from the stamp set, and ink that up. And I want it just a real soft look. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and stamp in the middle once, and now without re-inking, I'm going to go on the edge, maybe 1 or 2 times, depending on how inked up or how inked the image will look. It's a fairly, I want just something very subtle and light around the edge. Oops, there we go. And I'll repeat that process all the way around all 4 edges of my front of my card base. Okay, so, and I'm not worrying about the middle part right here because it is just going to get covered up with one of the layers. So, but you can see where I went around the edge using the Soft Succulent ink pad and the beautiful flower stamped image. The next thing I want to do is working with the Very Vanilla piece that I've cut out with the die, is working with my blending brushes, and let's see, I have about 4 different colors of ink here. So with the one blending brush, I'm starting out with the lightest color, and that's Pale Papaya. And how I typically like to work with the inks and my blending brushes is I like to just kind of go off, starting on my scrap piece of paper that I have placed underneath my work. I want to just slowly, and I usually work in little circles like this, but for this particular card, I want to go ahead and ink my blending brush up using my ink pad. And then again, starting on the scrap piece of paper that I have. I'm left-handed, so I always start on the left side. So I suppose if you're right, you would start on the right side, right? If you're right-handed. So whatever works best for you, which you are most comfortable with, I'm just going to start on the edge and then work my way just gently. But I want to make some wider circles this time. And what that's going to do, but still start on my scrap piece of paper and then just make those big, kind of bigger sweep of circle. And do you see what that's doing? That's starting to collect on the edge of the scallops, giving it more definition. And that's what I'm trying to, the look I'm trying to achieve. Give it a little bit more. Okay, I went down maybe just a little bit. And then next I'll take the fresh freesia and with another blending brush, again, just repeat this process. The only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to make it where it looks like 3 distinct colors. I'm just giving this background a very soft look, and I want it to be mixed colors, but also colors that will match and blend with the designer series paper and the new in color cardstock. So just taking my fresh freesia, again, starting in a circular motion on the side where my scrap paper is, and working my way in, but making large circular motions, kind of an oval, I guess. But then I'm going to work my way down a little bit, and then I might see here that I need to work on the corner here. You see, by making them wider circles, the scallops are going to catch more of that ink. And I might even just give it just a little hint up at the top here. Okay. Then I have my third color, which is the soft succulent. Again, with the third blending brush. I'm going to start on the bottom here. Actually, I think I might turn this over. So it helps me. I like it. It's more comfortable for me. And then again, I inked up my blending brush, starting on with the left side with the scrap piece of paper in wide circular motions. Just going across there, and you see how it just really catches on those scallops right there. Okay, and I'm going to kind of bring this throughout my paper just to give it a nice flow. So it's green throughout. So the colors look like they're just really blended all together. Maybe a little bit more green here in certain parts. Okay. This technique is just, if at first you don't succeed, keep trying, because it's a beautiful color, but it does take a little bit of practice to see how much of a pressure that you need to apply. So don't worry about not getting it right on the first try or even the second or third. Just keep working at it. It's a really fun technique that I think you will really like. So now I'm going to continue on the theme of blending and brushing with the ink pads like a sponge. Okay, take 2. Now I'm going to continue on the theme with a sponge or blending my inks, but this time I'm going to use a little sponge topper. So some people like to hold it, just hold it in their hand like this. For some reason, I've just gotten used to it. I think I got in the habit of just putting it on my finger and then dabbing it. Thus the name sponge topper, right? So this is soft suede. I'm just going to take a little bit of ink up my sponge dauber, and then again we're using kind of the same technique that we did with the blending brushes, but this time I'm going to go just slightly. I want a very slight hand on this, because less is always better to start with. You can always add more to it, but you can't take that off. So, and I'm working again on starting with the piece of paper that I have below me, below my work, and just slowly working my way around kind of all the little edges there. And this just gives it a little bit of depth. The card I'm looking to achieve has just got a little bit of a kind of an aged look maybe, and this technique will help to achieve that look. So I'm just going to continue this on the rest of the flower die cut pieces. So you can see that I have inked up, sponged at least the 4 colors. This darkest color, which is the evening evergreen, I will get this right. It will only give me a year, but I'll get it done. Is these, I did not ink this one up. I did not sponge around the edges because it was a darker color, so I felt that I didn't really need to. But the other 4 pieces, I did do that. Now, I also have a piece that is a little die cut that's very small, and I cut this out of crumb cake, and I want to go ahead and ink that up as well too. So this one just on the edges here. Okay, we're going to get it ready to stamp on, which will be shortly here. Okay, so setting that piece aside and set the flowers aside that have been die cut. Now we're going to bring this piece back, and this is the piece that we'll be stamping on. I'm going to go in again with my soft succulent ink, and I have a fun stamp here. This is a nice one. This reminds me of possibly an old piece of paper that was typed and somebody saved it. It was a really special piece, something special that they took enough time to want to keep and hold on to, and folding it and unfolding it. And pretty soon they're kind of, the ink partly wore off, or the typewriter, you know, it looks like an old, I want to say old-fashioned typewriter, but I remember these typewriters. All right, so I'm going to ink that up with some soft suede, and then just going on the, I'm going to stamp 3 times, but without re-inking it. So starting at the bottom here, lift up, go a little bit to the left, lift up, a little bit more to the left. So we just have some 3 times that I've stamped on there without re-inking. So you get darker, lighter, lightest here. Okay, and then switching the inks over, I'm going to take the soft succulent, and this is a fun stamp that is included in the set. This just gives it kind of some like splatter, a little bit of splatter, gives it a nice, different, unique background. And I'm going to ink it up and then stamp once on my scrap paper, and then stamp about 3 times. I want it very, very light. Okay, like that. Now going back with the brown color, the soft suede, I have a little stamp, and this has the word love in it. And I'm stamping right there in the middle. And there we go. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We're going to actually put this together and make just a kind of a paper flower bouquet, if you will. This is a card that I just made recently on my Facebook Friday, my live video that I have every Friday evening. It's on at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I told them the story on Friday about how I used to work in a with a florist. It was a very small town that I grew up in, and I got to work with him, and he taught me a few things. And mostly it was how to, I delivered flowers a lot of times, but there were some times where I really enjoyed going in there and learning about how to put bouquets together. This is what I'm going to start out with, is just basically getting a nice bouquet going. So I like to start with kind of some of the tallest first, and then the colors that I want to make stand out. So I want them all to meet at the bottom, because this is where we're going to glue it at. And it's just a process of just kind of seeing what goes well together and stacking them up like this. Now, once you have it down here, what I like to do is just kind of lay my finger on here, because the next step is going to be gluing it together. So I have some liquid adhesive. This is adhesive that is very quick drying. So I'm just doing each little piece, squish those together. So I'll hold these, and then I'm going to repeat the process up on the top, just putting little pieces of glue and then pressing down, again, making sure I don't leave it too long on my scrap piece of paper so it does not glue down to that paper. Okay, we now have this beautiful paper bouquet of flowers, and we're ready to put our card together. So I'm going to go ahead and take my card base and the designer series paper that I've cut out with the die cut, give it some glue and adhere that at the top, centering it. Now this is our stamped piece that we've colored and stamped. We're going to bring in this beautiful bouquet and just glue, put some glue on here on the back side. And then adhere that onto the front of the card. I like to place it just a little to the left, like this. Okay, and then we can go ahead and glue this on. Now I have some of the Simply Elegant trim. This is a duo pack. It also comes in silver as well. This is going to be in the new catalog with the Simply Elegant suite, which is absolutely gorgeous, as most of them. I actually have, this is one of my favorite catalogs that I've seen. And I just cut a little bit of this. Now what I'm going to do is thread my little tag that says love that I've stamped onto here, and then I'm just going to make a bow. Now I could have wrapped it all the way around my cutout flowers, but I think this would have been easier than rather trying to wrap around each one of those little pieces, those paper stems. So I'm just going to ahead and just add it like a little faux bow. Make it a little bit longer, this right here. Now, what I also like to do is take, this is the bow, this is some shinier ribbon, and it does tend to unravel or untie, I should say, easier than some of the others. So I just like to put just a little dab of glue at the back here of where the bow is. So that way when it dries, it will dry clear and it will help it to stay in one place. And then taking a little piece of a Stampin' Dimensional. I like to use all of my scraps up, so that's what this is. Just going to trim off a piece here. Okay, and we're gonna pop that up. So we want it to be placed right here, so it does look like we've just gone out and freshly picked those wildflowers, tied them up with some beautiful trim with a little tag that says love on it. We're almost done. We're going to bring in some bling, and this bling is in the shape of our new silver and clear epoxy essentials. These are gems that are lovely. They come in clear as well as silver, and I'm going to take some silver, the round. They come in 3 different shapes. So we've got the round, the diamond, and the teardrop, and I'm placing them right here on this pink, which is the polished pink cut out of the flower. I've got 3 of them here. And there you have a beautiful, fun card ready to go. Again, this is the Quiet Meadow stamp set, and the dies that go with it are the Meadows dies. Be looking forward to this in the new catalog, where you can receive a 10% discount when you purchase the bundle, both of them together. If you have any questions, please contact me. I hope you like this card as much as I had fun making it. I would love it if you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.